If things turn out the way they've planned, even I will call on people to pelt the CDU and SPD campaign booths with rotten eggs and rotten tomatoes. And there's a saying here, it's dumber than a bag of rocks what they're burning through now, supposedly to save pensions. Retirement at 70 and capital market, funded pensions, and what kind of nonsense, and I really have to say it, nonsense they've come up with in that video. And before we get started, let's have something to laugh about first. If you want to support this channel, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription, and that it's not presented as harshly by me as what they had prepared there, of course, during the World Cup. Here's something to laugh about first.
God shoots out. God shoots out. God shoots out.
Hello.
Would you like to say why you are here today?
I think the whole thing is already coming down to the votes. Why?
Are you here today?
That's none of your damn business.
But you wanted to have a dialogue with us.
I don't give interviews. Interview.
Do you have something in your ear? Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you.
Get lost.
Okay. Get out of our rally.
Shit.
Get lost. Hello?
Someone misheard something here. Masked.
Shut up, shut your mouth. So that's the way to discuss things. May I say something? I just want to ask one thing. All right, wonderful.
So would you like to tell us anything else? Would you maybe like to say why you are here today? No? Okay. Hey, get away from there. Come on.
Hello?
Hello.
You're standing in front of Pella.
Man.
Yeah, masked up against the AFD, wanting to protest but not willing to have someone actually come to the rally. Man, what's wrong with the leftists here? But when they find out tomorrow and the day after what's happening with pensions here, they'll probably go through the roof too. And I just have one question, yeah. If this goes through like that this country, well, is simply being sold to BlackRock because that's all this really is anymore. What will happen with the leftists, whether they'll also take to the streets and protest against the SPD and CDU. That would be a real double-edged sword because the SPD is actually co-financing the whole thing. But I love them, these Greens, well actually these leftists, these simple-minded people who run around and have no idea about democracy, who want to disrupt party conventions, illegal party conventions. But they're not willing to maybe give an interview, or especially not to have the press present and report on what kind of fascination they have with a certain worldview again. Speaking of fascination with worldviews, here's the first clip from this morning.
Saxony's Premier Michael Kretschmer from the CDU sees the firewall only as a tool to buy time.
Yes, they do the rest themselves, and because they're so panicked, well, there are hardly any reports on the internet. Actually, there weren't any reports at all until this morning. They only briefly mentioned it on Welt, working until 70. Well, maybe we can somehow stomach that. Here's who now has to pay into the pension fund. Politicians now have to pay into the pension fund. There is a capital market-based pension and self-employed people, those who are really struggling and sometimes don't even know how to keep their businesses running, now have to pay into the statutory pension as well. And yes, 2 economists already sounded the alarm yesterday. That would then once again lead to economic growth, but also to economic losses here in Germany, and at the same time it would completely tear apart and destroy the CDU. And not even the AFD is to blame for that. But they have remained absolutely stable even during the World Cup because, well, what they are deciding now, they couldn't have decided better in any other week since we don't even know yet how far Germany will get in the World Cup. And I really have to say, yesterday, despite my lumbago, and I still have it, I celebrated late into the night. That was a really cool soccer game yesterday, but let's move on to the topics. And well, it's not just the pension that seems to be escalating, but listen to this now and tell me, before I speak up again, what you think about it. Okay.
And one more thing, deportations to Afghanistan are apparently being consistently expanded. After secret negotiations between the Ministry of the Interior and the Afghan Taliban government, charter flights to Kabul are being massively increased. The focus is on Afghan serious criminals and dangerous individuals who are in prison in Germany. This year, 3 deportation flights to Kabul have already been carried out.
And so far we are expanding this. So by next year there won't be just 3, since we're only halfway through, so not just 6 deportation flights, but we will do 8 or 9 deportation flights to get these people out of the prisons here, with 5, 6, or 7 people on each flight. In reality, there are no deportations here in Germany. Everyone needs to be aware of that, but negotiations are ongoing now. The heavy tanker that is this Federal Republic is just not easy to steer. Actually, it's not steerable at all. And I'll address the topic of pensions once again. When this reaches the German citizens next week, and I really have to put it this bluntly, the press will cover it, not just Bild newspaper, but also Die Welt in a small report. Then it's going to explode here in Germany. Above all, the public broadcasters will tone the whole thing down a bit. Because civil servants are once again excluded from paying into the pension fund. The companies, however, yes, they don't take part. And now, hold on tight, they're introducing a funded pension scheme. And I mean, they couldn't have done it better. I mean, they could have just sold the whole country directly to BlackRock. I just wonder, and that's the bottom line, what happens if BlackRock makes a bad bet? What actually happens if a big company in the US makes a bad bet? That's happened from time to time. 2008, the coronavirus, or you can look it up yourself. What about Lehman Brothers, for example? How many people lost their funded pensions back then? I can go even further back, Black Monday and so on and so forth. In fact, yes, billions have always been wiped out because corrupt, greedy bankers helped themselves to the commission funds and made people desperately, desperately poor. But that's exactly what Friedrich Merz wants for Germany too, because there's real money to be made there. So definitely commissions for bankers.
Kretschmer warns against burning out. At the same time, former Federal Finance Minister Pierre Steinbrück raised the question of whether cooperation with the AfD would be possible, as long as the party observes certain red lines.
Well, and soon there will be elections here in Germany, and tomorrow there will be my election special, which will be out early in the morning. Starting tomorrow, there will be 2 videos again, one in the morning and one at noon. But I really need to take a bit of a weekend break and above all, recover from my nasty back spasm. You know, if I'm not waving my arms anymore and I'm just sitting in my chair with a pained expression on my face, then, well, you know, something must be wrong with Sasha. I got a ton of emails and a ton of WhatsApp messages yesterday. It's really just a back spasm. Still, I was able to celebrate all night because Germany won 2-1, and I really have to say it was a really good game. It was one of the best soccer games I've seen in months, even years, but I also haven't watched soccer in years.